Hi, I'm Marlo from Wild Food UK. We're out foraging again. It's late in April and it's a lovely day. We've been looking for some spring greens today, and this is a tree that we never have to look too far for around here. This is the hawthorn. You can see it's got some pretty dangerous thorns on it, but not too many. Now, from foragers' point of view, this is a really interesting tree. It's a tree that some foragers call the bread and cheese plant. That's not because any of it tastes like bread and cheese, but apparently there's a bird that likes to hang out in the hawthorn bush, hawthorn tree, and its bird song sounds like bread and cheese, hence the name, the bread and cheese plant, because you can often hear that coming from hawthorn. Now, in spring, the leaves taste rather mild, definitely palatable and pretty succulent. So in spring we happily eat these leaves as a salad green. Later on in the year, you know, into summer, the leaves will get much harder, much more papery, and they'll also develop a bitterness which isn't so pleasant, but they are still edible all year round. Later on in the year, about September time, you'll get a load of red berries on this tree, and those red berries, they're not actually berries, they're what are called pomes, but they look very much like red berries, and a tree like this would be dripping with them. They've got a big stone in the middle, but the flesh around the outside of the stone, after it's matured properly, so generally after a decent cold snap, a bit of a frost helps the pomes, the berries, soften up. They taste a lot like apples. They're really, really nice, but there's not much flesh on the outside of the stone, so they're a bit of a pain. They're not something you want to put in your fruit bowl, really. What we use them for, though, and what most people use them for, is to make jellies and jams and things like that, and that's because there's more pectin in haw-berries than there is in any other fruit in the UK, as far as I'm aware. So you can make haw-berry jelly really, really easily. We've actually had haw-berry jelly, which you make just by getting a load of the berries and passing them through a sieve, possibly adding a little bit of water just to soften them up, because you know they're sometimes quite dry. But pass that through a sieve and you get a liquid that comes out, which will set into jelly in the bowl within, you know, we've had it actually setting as we've been passing it through the sieve. So they're a useful fruit in the kitchen. You know, strawberry jam is particularly difficult to get to set properly, but add a good few handfuls of haw-berries into your strawberry jam mix and you've got enough pectin in there to get it to set. It also adds a nice little sort of apple-y side to the flavour. The tree itself has got other uses as well. Quite important to know, I suppose, is that in nature, this is one of the best treatments we know of, or one of the best plants we know of for any kind of cardiac issues. So we're talking about blood pressure issues, high blood pressure or low blood pressure. It's reputed to be a blood pressure regulator, and it's reputed to be really, really good for your whole circulatory system. So clearly that's going to help with a number of different ailments. The flowers are edible too, and it's got quite a lot of strong antioxidants in the tree as well, so it's an all-round very, very useful tree for the forager. Just watch out for the spikes. If you want to find out more, go to www.wildfooduk.com.